Okay, so what we've done so far is we've made sure we know our prefixes. Okay, and this is for molecular naming only. Okay, that means you're only using compounds formed using the items on this side of the staircase. Okay, they're called non-metals, and hydrogen, because hydrogen thinks it's special. Okay, so these are non-metals. And they have their own special naming system. Okay, so they have prefixes: mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa, hepta, octa, nona, and deca. At no point do we ever put capital letters in our names. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, dihydrogen monoxide, no capital letters. Okay, so in our first example, we put carbon monoxide, one that we're sort of familiar with from the real world. Okay, when it doesn't say...
Mr. McKenna, if you could call 2224, thank you.
When it doesn't say how many there are, okay, you know that means one. So monocarbon is what we would normally say, but it's like French verbs where there's exceptions to everything. When it's the first word, we don't put mono. When it's the second word, we do put mono. Okay, so that means there's one each, but we don't write the ones. Okay, so when we see our molecular name, it looks like this, and the chemical formula looks like this. Okay, our next example was carbon dioxide. So C is for carbon, oxygen is O. We have no word here, so we assume there's only one. We have a prefix here that says di. That means we have two. So we put a little 2 there. And in this example, we are doing it the other way around, where we started where the chemical formula, okay, and we're putting things into names now. Okay, so we start with 2 hydrogens. 2, the prefix is di, so we put di. H is for hydrogen, hydrogen, okay, dihydrogen. So you leave the first word alone in terms of keeping it intact, and the second word you chop off the end. Okay, so we have only one, because it doesn't say, so we call it monoxygen, but the second word we always have to chop off the end and put IDE instead. Okay, and it's not normal for everybody to magically know how many letters to chop off. So this is something we want to work on memorizing. Okay, we don't say phosphoricide. Okay, phosphoricide. Okay, but for you to know which one it is it phosphide, phosphoricide? Okay, like this. Or is it phosphoride? Is it phosphide? Okay, like how much do I chop off here of the phosphorus? Okay, I've listed that for you on the page 9 of your booklet. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, this piece. So you know that fluorine turns to fluoride, iodine turns to iodide, oxygen, oxide, hydrogen, hydride, carbon, carbide, phosphorus, phosphide, sulfur, sulfide, bromine, bromide, chlorine, chloride. Okay, so you want to memorize that as best as possible. Okay, which you might just by doing lots of practice. Okay, so you don't have to look it up all the time. So let's do an example that looks different. We'll start with the word and go to a formula, and then we'll do one where we have a formula that goes to a word. Okay, so let's have our periodic table out, page 1, so that you know what they are and what they look like. Okay, and I'm just going to make one up that's only using non-metals, but that uses some of our neater prefixes. Okay, so let's see if you can figure this out. Okay, let's do SIBR Okay, what's the fun one? 7. Br10. Okay, let's pretend that's a molecular compound. It isn't. Okay, but just to practice our naming, please try to do that. Okay, and let's try to put from the name to the formula with this one. Nah, you guys know that one. Oops. Okay, I wanted to do a word one, so we'll make a third one here. Okay, so like I said, these don't exist. Okay, they're just for the purposes of our examples. Okay, so looking at our periodic table, and just call it out, please. What does Si stand for? Silicon. Okay, and this Br is for? Okay, no capitals. Okay, now let's make our changes to it that we need. What is 7? Hepta. So this is called heptasilicon. Okay, and then we have a 10. 10 is how many? Deca. Okay, and one more change. We need to chop off the I and E and add IDE. Okay, so this one would be heptasilicon decabromide. Okay, how about this one? Se. What does Se stand for?
Selenium.
Selenium. Or, yeah, I think that's what it is. Just want to make sure I spelled it right. Yep. Okay, and then At, I'm going to leave more room this time because I know I'm going to need a prefix. Okay. Astatine.
I can't see the word.
That's okay. Yeah, the font is usually pretty small in our periodic tables. Okay, so what is the prefix for 3? Tri. Okay, so triselenium. What's this? What's the 4?
Oh, tetra.
Tetra. Astatine. Okay, now sometimes we don't like vowels stuck together. Okay, tetraastatine. Okay, so maybe it goes like this, tetraastatine. Okay, but again, this is a made up one. I haven't seen astatine with 4 before. So if you're not sure, ask me, say, is this right? And I'll say yeah. Or no, it's like this. Okay, how about this one? What is chlorine? What's the symbol for chlorine? Cl. That's a C. Okay, how many? 5. Okay, and you do it little like this. Okay, not like this. Right, that looks funny. Okay, and it doesn't go here. Doesn't go here. It does matter a lot. Okay, because that has to do with balancing equations. Okay, how about this one? What's the symbol for fluoro something? F. Okay, fluorine. That's how many? 6. Okay, so that would be Cl5F6. These are exactly what they look like in the periodic table. Okay, this is a capital, that's lowercase, that's capital. Okay, so given those instructions, I'm hoping that you will be able to do
All of the words.
yes, every single one. Okay, the ones on page 10 that say molecular compound practice. the ones on page 11 that say naming molecules. Okay, and the answer keys for these, for you to look at, see if you got them right, is in the section 3 page. Okay, there's just one wrong. It says like nitrogen is nitrogen and it should be nitride. Okay, and I think there's one more. Yeah. Okay, and then there's this one here. So there's 3 worksheets for you that you can use to help you understand how to do these. If you get stuck, please ask for help. Okay, and please help each other. One tiny bit of information for the page 10. Okay, so everybody take a look at your page 10 worksheet, because the top part has a slightly different piece of instructions. Okay, it's just to break things down for you. So in the chart that has no lines, okay, it's asking you what are the elements in that compound. Okay, so in carbon dioxide, it wants you to actually write carbon, oxygen, and then put them together in their compound name. Okay, to separate out a step for you. Okay, if you want to go straight to the compound name, technically you could. Okay, but we like to follow instructions properly, and the instructions are to write the elements. Okay, so HBr, you would put hydrogen, bromine. And then in the compound name, you would put hydrogen, because there's only one, and we don't write the first one, and then monobromide. Okay, hydrogen monobromide. All right, let's go.